Yeah, I'm really tired of this shit because by week 4, I should have had it. Something was telling me, week 4 is gonna be so difficult. I didn't feel as confident as I did in week 1, 2, and 3. But that's it. After it played out, I was like, you know what? Let me go back and study it. And you know what? I'm gonna break this shit down to you guys. I'm gonna break it down and I'm gonna see if you guys can fucking understand it. Okay? Now, when you look at it, you gotta immediately look at the two teams, and then you gotta look at the point spread and see if it makes sense. Now, the minute you see the two, you gotta try. If you know this stuff, you know it. Charlotte and Rice, Rice is the better team. Don't like the point spread, but at the end, you gotta go with the better team. So you go with Rice, and I predicted right. Tulsa and Oklahoma State. This is how you have to see this. Point spread 10, but Oklahoma State ain't that good. They've never been that good. They're never a team that covers or does cover or doesn't. Tulsa has been horrible this year coming out. But if Oklahoma State was going to beat them, why wouldn't it be higher than 10? And then you got to also think about this. I've been looking at this a new way. Add it. Look at these point spreads with a teaser, just in case you want to make a teaser out of it. See how much better it will look. Oklahoma State at a -4 looks tempting, but then Tulsa at a +16 also looks good because you don't like a team like Oklahoma State. I've never liked a team like Oklahoma State, so in my sense, that's how I judge it. Iowa and Rutgers, I should have trusted my gut. I know Iowa's a better team than Rutgers. Everybody knows that. Point spread didn't say it though. Point spread scared the shit out of me, and that's what sometimes it's hard for me to. But look what the result was: 30-28, and they made most of their points in the fourth. So that was a very scary game to look at. But at the end, you gotta judge. I mean, trust yourself and that you know your shit and you know which team is better. Another one, Arkansas has been good this year coming out. Memphis is not one of those teams that you could go against. But here's the dead giveaway. Arkansas, if you know they're the better team, why was it fucking 7? Why was it just 7? You know Arkansas is a fucking way better team than Memphis. And that fucking 7 gave it away right there. It's too good of a number. Too good of a fucking number. And that right there, after I study it, it tells me, shit. It was fucking there, black and white. I should have known better. I should have not let it fucking lure me in, you know? Another one. This one could have won either back and forth. I like Bowling Green heavy on this because I'm not too convinced on Louisville. Now I am. Louisville's a good fucking team. Louisville's been kicking ass lately. I didn't want to believe it. I know Bowling Green would have been good, not to win, but to at least cover, which I did predict right. They did cover, and with a teaser, they covered even easier. And Louisville also bringing it down, that would have been a harder sell. So I went big on the Bowling Green with a teaser, which I predicted right, even straight up was right. So, I mean, if I go back to my bets, I took Bowling Green big time, so I predicted that right. Now, Wisconsin, another team over the years I've never liked. You could go back years, and I've always told you guys I hate Wisconsin. Wisconsin just sucks. And here it goes right there, a -10. Maryland is not that bad of a team. They're fucking 3-0. What looks better, a +16.5 for Maryland or Wisconsin at a -4? When you know Wisconsin is not a solid team. If it was Alabama, I would say, yeah, bring it down to a 4. I'll take Alabama. But Wisconsin, if you've been following this the way I do, you would know that would have been not the right choice to make. So, look, if you don't want to take it how I break things down, all I know this is going to help me out to pick way better for next week. Because I am too good at this shit for me to keep fucking up like this. Another one. North Texas has been killing it. Army has been looking like shit. It's not the Army from before. This game actually brought them back a little bit more. I can't believe how good Army did. I really thought North Texas was going to blow them out, and I was right. Look at the beginning, 21-7. I was loving this shit, and then out of nowhere, they let Army come back. But you know what? The way to read this game, when a team is supposed to blow somebody out, it should never be a 1 or a 2 point spread, even a 3. Those are the hardest, tightest games. And look, it was a fucking hard and tight game. So in my head, there's so many teams to choose from. Stay the fuck away from this. That's how I'm going to see it next time. Just stay the fuck away from this game. And another thing, when a game is so close, There's gonna be a bunch of scoring, and look how it destroyed the over and under. Fucking way over 80 points. It didn't even come close to it. I should have known this was an easy over. All right, TCU SMU. This is a hard one, but TCU I felt always was a better team. So in this one, you got to go with your gut. I didn't like the point spread. 6 is also very difficult to take. But then when you look at it as a teaser, like I said, what would you rather take? SMU with a plus or TCU at home at 0 points? I took TCU at 0, so I actually picked it good. And I thought TCU was the better team this year. But this is a hard match to take. But when it's a hard match, what do I always say? Take the home team. And the point spread was a dead giveaway that it was a good number. I just didn't want to believe it too much. This was an easy one. You look at the two matchups, South Carolina State, South Florida. South Florida didn't do good against the Gators, but the first two games killed it. I knew they were going to destroy. The 36 was a dead giveaway, and I was fucking right. I didn't like how they scored in the first two quarters, but the third redeemed them, so thank God I went with this one. But I went with South Florida all the way. I knew this was going to be an easy one. Clemson, another team that I know is not doing good this year. They're going up against a good opponent. Syracuse is a good opponent. I actually went with Syracuse. Let's say Clemson is done. It's done, guys. They're no good. They play against Michigan, Alabama, Tennessee, or whatever. It's going to be a blowout. So that's it. Clemson is done, guys. Utah, another one. You know Utah is better than Texas Tech any day. Why was it a 3.5? Why the fuck was it a 3.5? This point spread scared the shit out of me. But at the end, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna trust my gut. I know Utah is the better team. Let me go with Utah. But you know what? That fucking 3.5 just gave it away right there. I should have known better. Guys. I hope you guys are seeing my logic. When you know a team is supposed to win, the point spread shouldn't be that good, guys. It really shouldn't. Okay, UNLV. I went with offense. I knew UNLV is a really good school. I like Miami, Ohio. And once again, look at these low point spreads when it could go either way. Look how high the over and under was. Another game that almost went up to 80. So keep that in mind, guys. You see 1 point spreads and you see two teams that's supposed to go hard at each other. Look at that. High point spread, guys. If you don't want to take whoever's going to win, go with the over at least. But thank God at the end, UNLV prevailed. It was looking so scary for me. I was like, look at that shit. 24-10. Miami, Ohio was winning them. I couldn't believe I went big on UNLV. I thought they were the way better team. But they came back at the end and they redeemed themselves. Virginia Tech. This one was hard because I don't like Virginia Tech. Wofford I knew was a really bad team. So in a way I was like, I don't know. This one was one of those games I'd rather just pass up, and I did. But I did also go with Virginia Tech on the teaser, so I only tried it like once or twice. You got to always try these out. Tennessee was disappointing, I got to say. At first, it looked like they were doing it. I told everybody go on the first half, so I did predict that right. If you would have took them in the first half, you would have been doing good. And, of course, like always, these teams, they take their foot off the pedal. Look at that. First, second, and third, high points. And no points in the fourth. Tennessee is almost like Penn State. They don't want to fucking keep scoring and they fuck up these high point spreads. I've always told you guys, stay away from these 40 fucking point spreads, man. They don't cover. Central Michigan, this was an easy one because I know Wagner. Wagner sucks. 29, you got to take a chance to take it. At a 23, it looked even better, so I told myself this would be a good one. And it's just knowing your teams. I knew Central Michigan against any other team wouldn't do great, but against a team like Wagner, they just go crazy on these FCS teams. This one, I just barely covered. I don't like games, even though Oregon's been looking amazing. There's just something about Oregon State. I'm like, I know Oregon State has always been better. Why are they so bad this year? And believe me, they are very bad this year. They can barely score 7 points. So I did go with Oregon. I went bigger with the teaser. But that's just from judging them this year. You can actually judge them like that right now. Oregon State is done. They're just horrible. They're a really bad team. And Oregon is just dominant. Look at that defense. Look at that offense. Oregon is going to be a very hard school to beat. Oklahoma, Auburn is still not there yet. Oklahoma is also trying to be there, but at home, a hard decision like this, you got to go with the home team. And once again, look at that point spread. You see it again, a 6.5. You see 6.5 at home against two good opponents. It's a dead giveaway. It's a dead giveaway, guys. And when you see big names, normally it goes under. Look at that over and under 47. You could tell that this game was going to go under. All right, this one is just knowing your teams. UConn's always been horrible. You don't take 21 points on a team like UConn. Ball State, I don't like them either, but against a team like UConn, this was a gift. I went big with Ball State on the teaser and straight up. This one was actually an easy one to pick. Ohio and Garnet Webb. I like Garnet Webb. I've always have. This was an easy one to pick. I should have trusted my gut more and put a combination with this one. Because this one, I knew it was 100%. I knew Ball State was going to be 100%. I just get fucking so blinded sometimes. James Madison, another team that I knew was 100%. And the first half scared me. I was like, wow. Why the fuck why aren't they blowing out Liberty? Liberty's not that good this year. And thank God they came back at the end. But like I said, do my little trick. What looks better, Madison at a -1 or Liberty at a freaking +13? I'd rather take James Madison. You always want to go with a team that you know is better. And I know James Madison is better than Liberty. Florida State, easy. Kent State covered the last one. But Florida State is one of those teams that likes to show off. So they would keep scoring. And I knew that. That's just knowing your teams. This was the easy one for me. I took Florida State a shitload of times in my bets. And I regret not going bigger on this one. Believe me, I am so disappointed that I didn't go higher and put something together on these. This was a hard one. And like I said, like when it's hard, you're always going to see 1, 2s, and 3s. And look at that. A -2. I'd rather just stay the hell away from it. And look at that. How funny. Because normally the Ranger Cajuns would be the better bet. So if they were the better bet, why was it a -2? And look at that. More than 70-80% of the time, when the team that you're supposed to win and it's a -2, it'll go to the opposite. And look, it did go to the opposite. Michigan is just knowing. I knew Michigan is a better team. I've never liked Nebraska. I saw Michigan, and that was just an easy pick. That's just knowing your teams, guys. It's not much to explain this one. It's just knowing your teams. UCF, I had a good feeling. And again, look at that. When you see two good names, are you picking up the pattern? 6.5 to 7? And look, it covered easily. It's fucking covering easily. If the two opponents are somewhat decent. You know, North Carolina's always been a decent name. Central Florida's always been a decent name for a long time now. So the -7, I should have read it better. I just get blinded when I start making these bets. It's like I have so many to choose from, and I get fucking blinded. But this one, I had a lot of confidence in Central Florida, man. I'm fucking beating myself now over this shit. Another team, this is tricky because Notre Dame is just like Penn State. They sometimes don't like to cover. But at 24, something was telling me Notre Dame was going to cover this game. I just didn't want to believe it because Purdue didn't look too bad. But this one, I'd rather had just passed it. I just went like, I have a feeling Notre Dame is going to cover, but I was just like, let me pass it. Actually, I took Purdue with the points, and I covered on it anyway. I think I actually teased it on both sides, if I go back correctly to look. This one, I got to tell you, I can't believe it went the way it did. I thought Toledo was a lot better than this. And there's nothing I can say about the point spread. The point spread just showed total confidence. -13.5 on the road. I thought it was going to be an easy win. I really did. I am so disappointed in this one. When this happens, all you got to know is you can't count on Toledo. You can't count on them. Not to win games. This one, I thought to myself that Troy should be the better team. The point spread kind of tricked me because I saw Buffalo. I'm like, Buffalo, why are they -5? They're not better than Troy, not by that much either. But in that sense, look at that theory that I just told you. Look at it always as a teaser. Does Troy look good at a +11 or Buffalo at a +1? I'd rather take Troy at a +11. So that's a good way to come up with your answers of who to pick when you try to do a teaser. This is another one, and this is just knowing. Ole Miss has been killing it since the beginning. Since the beginning of how they started this year, Ole Miss is just dominant. And when a team is in the top 5 or top 10, you just got to go with them. Tulane was very hard to bet against. Even though a +18 did look good for me, a +6 looked even better. I was like, no, I gotta go with Ole Miss. As good as they are, and they're at home, I had a feeling that Ole Miss was gonna be a good pick. So I did good. I did good on that one. Duke, I was surprised. I actually just left this one alone. I didn't think Duke was good enough. I mean, obviously they are. NC State ain't all that either, but this was one of those games I couldn't decipher. I just left it alone. But look, a -3 Duke at home goes back to my rules again. When you feel that there's two good teams, go with the home team. I mean, that home team advantage, it does help a lot. It really does. So always go with your home team when you find a team is hard. This one, let the point spread scare me. Because I know Northern Illinois sometimes plays really good. And Mississippi State, I'm still not fully sold on them. And that 24 was kind of high, but I'm really starting to give them their respect. Mississippi State is covering these games easily, so I think I got to really start giving them the respect. They're just covering these high point spread guys. And I did like it a lot. I would have wished it was a -12 or a -16. But a 24 was hard. Even though I felt like they had a chance. This one was actually kind of easy. I went with Temple because I know how Temple is. And Georgia Tech is just amazing me. They're really good. Georgia Tech has been playing good this year, but I know Temple was decent enough to at least not get blown out. I really thought they weren't going to get blown out by 24, and they did it. So, adding 6 more points, I was like, you know what? Temple is a good pick. Georgia Tech is not one of those teams you put all your chips on, and there's not much to say about this, but I chose it right. I actually chose it pretty good. This was easy. I knew 100% Idaho was going to cover against San Jose State. I told you, Idaho's been doing good since last year. San Jose with a -14. I was like, that is too much confidence. What do they know something? I don't know. That's what kind of bothered me was the fact that it scared me. And even though my heart told me Idaho was 100% locked, that point spread was scary. It was 14.5, guys. I still went with Idaho, but I think I only picked it like 4 or 5 times. I should have trusted my gut and used them over 20 times on all my bets. Because that's how confident I was until I saw the point spread. This was very disappointing. This is one of the ones I chose wrong. I went with Arkansas State. It just showed me Kennesaw State. Not that they're good, but I guess they got some kind of offense. I guess they can play here and there. It's just, I'd probably just rather stay away from games like this. And look, at a -4, these games are never easy. They show they could go either way. That number is just a dead giveaway that it's going to be a hard game. It's not going to be an easy game when it's under just 5 points, guys. 1, 2, and 3s, even 4 is a very difficult game to choose. Delaware, if you've seen how Delaware played the other Delaware and how they've been playing lately, I know FIU came off that terrific win off of FAU, but at first I was liking FAU, but then I started studying and I'm like, you know what? Delaware might have a decent fucking chance at this. And then I changed my mind right at the end with Delaware. I was like, you know what, this looks really solid. I wish I would have gone bigger on this one because I did figure it out at the end that Delaware was a better pick on this matchup right here. Akron, easy. The question, if you know your teams, like I said, and even though Akron is a horrible team, but I knew they were going to destroy the Quest, like easily going to destroy them. That's what these teams do against these FCS teams. FCS teams are the easiest schools to destroy. Kansas, another one. I knew this Kansas was easy, but Kansas has always disappointed me here and there. But I have been jumping on the bandwagon lately, and I'm not 100% sold that West Virginia is that bad of a team. But now I am seeing this. Now I see how bad West Virginia is, and I think this is the game that clarified how good Kansas is. Kansas is pretty decent. I mean, they destroyed that point spread with no problem. Easy one for me. I went with Boise State. I did not expect this outcome. I expected that point spread. I thought Boise was going to be 49-14 at the most. I did not expect Air Force to score 37 points. I really didn't. I really thought that this would be a 49-14 game. Props to Air Force that they're playing so good, but this is an easy one for me. I see how Boise State plays. That game against South Florida was not a fluke. South Florida is a very good team. They did an amazing job on that defense. But Boise is a good team. Okay. South Alabama, this is one that I chose wrong. And 14-point spreads to do it to you, I don't know how is it. It's like that. 14-point spreads has always been notoriously bad, and I probably just should have left it alone because South Alabama is not a team you want to take anyway. But I know how bad Coastal Carolina is. But damn, when I saw this, I was like, damn, why is it 14? I don't like 14-point spreads. But then I went by how the teams are playing, and like I said, this was one of them that I chose wrong. I actually thought South Alabama was going to destroy South Carolina. I really did. Georgia Southern, that was easy. 22 against Maine, FCS team. There's not much to say about this. If you know your team, Georgia Southern is a good team. They destroy teams like FCS. And I kicked myself again because this was an easy choice, a very easy choice. Another one, Marshall. I knew Marshall was way better than Middleton, Tennessee. I knew it. But I let that 2-point spread scare me. I was like, why? When I saw this matchup, I was like, oh, I love Marshall immediately. And then when the point spread came out, I was like, what? Why is it a fucking -2? I hate it when they give it to you on a silver platter. I fucking can't stand it. And I should have trusted my gut more. That's all I can say. I should have trusted my gut more. This is easy. Not really because it was a high point spread. But I did go with Jacksonville State, but not big because it's Jacksonville State. I really don't like it too much. I did try them and I did win. I did cover. Just because I know how bad Murray State is. This was easy. Another one that I could say that was easy. I should have trusted myself more with Western Kentucky. And look, again, guys, you see I see a pattern? When you like that team, it's always going to be around 6 or 7 or 8. And look, 7.5. Western Kentucky won easily against Nevada. I already thought Western Kentucky would win over them, but now I got to start seeing these point spreads. They do cover. I mean, it's not a mistake. Missouri, I went big on the teaser. I had a feeling, but I don't like Missouri too much, so this was really difficult. Because South Carolina has been playing good. But at the end, I was like, you know what? This is not a game you put all your chips on. Missouri's at home. I do like it on a teaser. I'll go with Missouri. And I did choose it right. I did chose it right. At least on the teaser part. This is knowing your teams. Missouri State, I loved it. I should have known. I should have trusted more in this because I know how good they are. Like I said, I hate 14-point spreads, but I knew Missouri State was a lot better than this. I should have. I kicked myself for not freaking knowing this was gonna be a blowout. I knew this was gonna be a blowout. This one was a coin flip, and and you could tell. Look, a -2. I told you, stay away from 1, 2, or 3 games. Stay the hell away from it. And look, like always, the -2 would never cover. Look, and it didn't. It fucking went with the opposite. It never fucking covers. It never covers in the favorite. Another easy one, guys. Tell me it wasn't easy. You know BYU is way better than Eastern Carolina. But that 6.5, I was like, why is it so easy? Why is it such an easy point spread? I wish I could have caught this at a 10 or a 12. It would have made my decision a lot easier. But seeing a 6.5, I thought it was a trap. Like I said, this was. Oh, I'm kicking myself, guys. It was so easy. This week was so easy. BYU was 100% game. 100% it should have been. And I knew it. And I let it blind me. The fucking point spread blind me. So now I'm just going to start looking at the opponents, then look at the point spread and make my decision. You know this was easy. I took Miami big time over Florida. Florida's not there yet. 8.5. I was like, you know what? This is a gift. I know they're giving it to me, but I'll take it. I'm sorry, I'll take it. So there's not much to explain this. This is easy. Vanderbilt, I didn't think they were there. I really didn't think so. Georgia State is not that bad. This is one of those that I chose wrong. But I had a feeling just because the point spread was so high, and when the point spread is high, it shows a lot of confidence. And when something shows confidence, it usually covers. So this was one that was like, let me just at least try it and not go big on it. But damn, look what ended up happening. And that's why I love studying. I love going back to see what it should have been. I see if my picks would have been right on. And believe me, I'm kicking myself because I had a feeling. Even though I don't like Vanderbilt, I knew that point spread was very confident point spread. This one was a shocker. I actually went with Illinois on a teaser. I didn't know Indiana was that much better. But now I do. You see what I mean? So I love it. Of course, when you see these two matchups, you don't know. But look at it again. That giveaway. Do we not see it again? Do you not see the pattern of -7? When two teams, you're not sure who you'll pick. Fuck, go with them. Go with the numbers 6, 7, or 8. And look, it was a -7. It's in the ballpark. So, look, I'm not trying to sell you on this. I've already showed it to you 4 times in a row. The favorite keeps winning when it's 6.5. It just fucking covers. LA Tech. This is just knowing your teams. I know they're better than Southern Miss. Southern Miss is like crap. I called it in week 1. When I saw Mississippi State going up against Southern Miss, I told you guys, Southern Miss is just a garbage team. They really are. And I know LA Tech. LA Tech is actually a decent team, man. Look at that. Look what LA Tech did in the beginning. Fucking 30-10. They just didn't want to score anymore afterwards, but this was a 30-10 game in the beginning, guys. LA Tech is fucking good. Point spread was scary, though. I was kicking myself to why it was a -3, but that's just... You gotta trust your fucking gut. And again, I'm kicking myself for not fucking trusting my judgment on this, man. I let the point spreads fucking scare me. Virginia, I knew better because I know Stanford is not there yet. After that game with Hawaii, I knew they're not there. And Virginia's actually been pretty good. They're not Virginia Tech. They're better than Virginia Tech. So, but that 16 points was a little scary. It really was. But when I saw it at a -10, like I told you, add the 6 points to either way, I would have said Virginia at a -10 looks better than Stanford at a fucking +22. So that's just knowing this if you've been following it well the way I do. Very easy. Very confident point spread, 21. On the Washington side, I had a strong feeling Washington was going to cover this just because of what the point spread was. It showed a lot of confidence. And once again, I'm kicking myself for not going big on this one. LSU, I hate these kind of point spreads. And look, I was right. It fucking didn't cover by 2 points. So even though I had a good feeling LSU was going to cover, I did like it. I did try it. I think I even took it on a few teasers. It's very scary to these 40-something point spreads. I don't like it when they barely just cover. I hate games like this. 23 against the FCS team, that was easy. Utah State at a minus 23, that was easy. Because McNeese State, that was the easy one. Another one, Texas State. But look, they do good in the first half and then they slow down, and that's why it's scary sometimes. But I did go with Texas State. You know, if it's a FCS team, these teams they just suck. If the FBS team is anywhere near decent in the name, they're gonna cover the point spread almost every time. I had a feeling Texas was gonna cover, but they haven't been covering, so I actually left this one alone. Because Texas has been getting me mad because they've been really pissing me off lately. But the 39 did show I got a lot of confidence, but I told myself, you know what? There's better bets to choose from. I do love Texas, but I think I did take it on a few teasers. I got to look at my thing, but I didn't go crazy over Texas. I really didn't. And Louisiana Monroe, it's knowing your shit. I knew they were a better team than UTEP. I don't know why they let the point spread scare me. I thought maybe they knew something I didn't, but like I said, this is one of those I wish I could take back, because before the line came out, I was like, oh, Louisiana Monroe all the way. I knew this one was a 100% guarantee. Like, I knew this was a guarantee, and I let the point spread scare me. This was actually, this was one that I chose wrong. I admit it. UTSA, I thought, was a lot better than Colorado State. And Colorado State played their game. You know, they played a good game, and UTSA played a good... whatchamacallit... I mean, it was a decent game. It just shows both these teams suck. They better not play a team like Tulane, because they're going to get killed, you know? But that's what it is. Colorado, very easy for me. Wyoming is just horrible. I've been looking at them since week 1. They've been horrible. I knew Colorado was going to cover this easily. Fucking knew. I knew this one. This was one of them I knew that was 100% too, man. I'm kicking myself. This one I did not see coming. I ain't going to lie to you guys. I don't know where this came from, California, but look at the pattern, 14-point spreads. Yo, those are so scary. These never cover on the favorite side. They very rarely cover. And I went with California. I think this is one of the reasons why I didn't really win. The money I should have won this week was California. This one, I took it on a teaser. I'm really disappointed in USC. Michigan State has a strong defense, but I went big on UCF, on USC. I really did. Thank God I had it on a teaser, and I covered it. Fresno and Hawaii. This was already like around the last games. I kind of had a feeling maybe Fresno, but you stay away from 2-point spreads. You just have to. And look, at 2.5, they missed it by a hook. So these guys know what they're doing. They really do, guys. All right, I just wanted to show you my thoughts. All right, guys.